My name is Siu Chen with matrix number 292178, and now I will be presenting about the introduction. As an international consulting firm, we recognize the vital role of thorough risk assessment for multinational companies eyeing new markets. Japan, with its economic progress and technological advancement, presents a promising landscape for new ventures. Our expert analysis uses a scoring system to evaluate stability and risk, offering clear insights. Scores above 80 indicate strong stability, 50 to 79 signify moderate risk needing attention, while below 50 highlights high risk and challenges. This approach helps businesses make informed decisions, mitigate risk, and seize opportunities in Japan. So we are here to equip your business with the knowledge and strategy to thrive in these dynamic markets.
Japan, a nation renowned for its economic power and cultural heritage, is currently facing a unique set of political stability challenges. Let's dive into the key factors shaping the country's political landscape. Pie chart showing the weight of the four factors: government stability, political violence, human rights, and corruption. First, government stability, which carries the higher weight of 40%. Recent political events, including the Liberal Democratic Party's loss of its parliamentary majority for the first time since 2009, have shaken confidence in Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's leadership. Public dissatisfaction is growing, with surveys showing that 60% of citizens believe major leadership change are needed. Next, political violence weighted at 30%. Despite political unrest, Japan remains one of Asia's most stable countries, scoring over 81% on the World Bank's Political Stability Index. Japan's low levels of violence and terrorism ensure a secure environment for businesses and residents. Human rights issues account for 20% of the stability assessment. While Japan has strong culture norms, it struggles with weak anti-discrimination laws and strict asylum policy. Criticisms of practice like prolonged detention in justice system highlight the need for reform and stronger protection for vulnerable groups. Finally, corruption, which is weighted at 10%, Japan scores 73 on the Corruption Perception Index, which is ranking 16th globally. With a long history of low corruption, the country continues to maintain transparency in governance, a key factor in its stability. Overall, Japan's political stability scores 58.5 out of 100. While challenges in government stability and human rights persist, its strong performance in combating violence and corruption provides a stable foundation.
My name is Andino Diana Bikmat Faiza and my matric number is 287259. Now I will present about economic stability. There is have three factors, which is GDP growth rate, inflation rate stability, and employment rate. For GDP growth rate, the weighted is 40 and the weighted score is 26. It is because, as a developed country, Japan has moderate but consistent GDP growth rate, frequently restrained by its aging population and show labor force increase. Next is inflation rate stability. The weight is 35 and the weighted score is 26.25. It is due to, when evaluated buying power and monetary stability, inflation is the rate at which prices generally rise is a crucial indicator. Inflation will influence the customer purchasing power and the company ability to buy raw material in Japan. Last but not least is employment rate. The weight is 25 and the weighted score is 5.0. The implication is low unemployment indicates a healthy job market but poses challenge for business expansion due to labor shortage. Japan is projected to face a labor shortage equivalent to 3.84 million workers by 2035. In the first half of fiscal 2024, a record is 163 companies went bankrupt due to labor shortage. This finding suggests that companies which are looking to expand to Japan will face difficulty in finding a labor force. Last but not least, low rates of unemployment and inflation. Japan economic rating of 57.25 indicates a moderate economic climate. To guarantee long-term viability, however, basic flows including sluggish GDP growth, demographic issue, and reliance on foreign commerce must be fixed. In the midst of international uncertainty, Japan can lower risk and improve its economic stability by targeting at boosting domestic demand, diversifying trade, and resolving labor shortage.
Next, I will share about Japan's financial stability focusing on three factors. First, Japan government debt has the highest weight at 50% because it strongly affects financial health. Japan faces a long-term risk with a debt to GDP ratio over 260% and total debt expected to reach 1,350 trillion yen by 2024. High debt limits financial stability, raise borrowing costs, and reduce their ability to handle economic shocks. This heavy burden leads to a low stability score of 40. Second, the banking sector has a 30% due to its role in economic growth. Japan's banks are well regulated, high capitalized, and have low levels of non-performing loans, contribute to a strong stability score of 70. However, they face challenges with low profits in a mature market. So, the sector stays strong by adept at supporting the economy and government finance. And lastly, access to capital is way at 20%. Japan performed well with 24 billion in foreign investment in 2023 and a solid credit market. Easy access to funding support business and expansion innovation, leading to a high stability score of 80. This factor ensures that business and the government can finance their needs. So, for overall, Japan's financial stability is supported by a strong banking sector and access to capital. But high government debt remains a long-term risk that needs careful management to ensure long-term financial health. That's all from me. Thank you.
So, good day to everyone. My name is Lim Pei-Jing from Matrix numbers of 2x6097, and now I'm going to present about the Japan's social stability. The Japan's social stability and business environment are defined by its low crime rate, strong education system, and also the moderate levels of social inequality. First of all, the crime rates, with the highest weighting of 50%, reflect Japan's reputation as one of the safest countries in the world. Thanks to its cultural values, effective law enforcement, and also the strict regulation. While street and organized crime remain low, the emerging risks such as fraud targeting the elderly and cybercrime, which have increased by 10% annually since 2019, are not worthy but not yet material to business operation. Next, for the education level, with the 30% is another strength with a literacy rate of 99%, which is top-notch in global assessments such as PISA. However, demographic changes such as declining birth rates, an aging population, and unequal access to digital education suggest that reforms are needed to maintain a long-term excellence. Next, for the social inequality, with only 20% is relative marked with a Gini coefficient of 0.33. However, long-standing issues such as a 23.5% gender pay gap, which is the highest among OECD countries, and 40% informal employment highlight the urgency of structural reforms to promote the equality. So for overall, while Japan offers a stable environment for business, addressing these emerging challenges will be critical for future growth and inclusion. And that's all from me. Thank you.
And now I will be presenting about the environmental stability. Japan's susceptibility to natural disasters such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and typhoons significantly impact its infrastructure, economy, and society. It's crucial to consider these factors in any risk assessment. Hence, a weight of 50% is given to this category. A score of 30 is assigned, indicating lower stability due to high disaster vulnerability. Climate change policy hold a 30% weight because their effects are more gradual. Japan's commitment to reducing GHG emissions by 46% by 2030 and achieving net zero emissions by 2050 showcases its dedication to mitigating climate change, so this earns a score of 80. Finally, environmental regulations are weighted at 20%. Japan's comprehensive regulatory framework protects natural resources and public health, but it can also impose significant costs on businesses. This balance results in a score of 50.
Now, for Japan technological stability, which plays a crucial role in fostering economic growth and societal development. First, technological infrastructure, which holds the highest weight of 55%, Japan boasts advanced 4G and 5G networks with broadband access exceeding 140 connections per 100 people. However, rural areas lag behind prompting government initiatives to extend fiber optic coverage to 99.9% of households by 2027. Second, cybersecurity accounts for 25% of the score, although Japan is enhancing its defenses with initiatives like active cyber defense strategy. Vulnerabilities in critical systems still persist, showcasing room for improvement in mitigating threats. Next, digital literacy contributes 50%, while younger generations have exceptional digital skill, a gap exists among the elderly, with only about 36% using the internet. Efforts to bridge this gap, such as distributing devices and training programs, are already making progress. Innovation capacity also at 50% reflects Japan's leadership in R&D. The country is a leader in cutting-edge fields like semiconductors, AI, and its visionary Society 5.0. This program positions Japan as a global technological leader. Lastly, technological dependence has the lowest rate of 10%, but Japan's self-reliant approach in semiconductors and strategic global partnership ensures sustainable growth. In summary, with an overall score of 75 out of 100, Japan showcased impressive technological capabilities with opportunities for further improvement in cybersecurity and digital inclusiveness. Thank you.
Conclusion, a total score of 58.71 is presented, indicating there are moderate risks with some challenges that a company has to face. According to the assessment, it's recommended to launch consulting services, financial services, technology services, healthcare and biotechnology, education and training, and also renewable energy companies to Japan. This is because this sector aligns well with Japan's stability and strength, and it offers opportunity for successful business expansion in this environment.